Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Life According to Nikki.
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
Let me give you the rundown of how today's episode is going to go. We are going to talk about two topics today. We are going to do a deep dive into Bridgerton because I did watch season 3, episode 1 through 4. You can bet everything you have that I did in fact stay up until 5 in the morning to watch it. It dropped at 1 a.m. I finished at 4:42. Again, I do it for those that can't. I live this single life to the fullest because I want to live with zero regrets. I'm never going to be this young again. I'm never going to have the lack of responsibility that I truly have at this moment ever again. I can afford to stay up from 1 to 5 in the morning and then wake up a few hours later for work and take a nap in the afternoon because no one needs me. I don't have a crying baby. I don't have a spouse. I don't have nothing. So I'm living up my single years while I can. Hopefully, while I can. Even if I end up being single forever, which, at this point, may be a possibility, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to have the capacity to stay up from 1 to 5 a.m. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to live with no regrets. In fact, I think I might be going too far. I'm going overboard. Someone needs to reel me in. I went and bought an entire satin cream pie. I got a Baja Blast from Taco Bell at 11:30 p.m., brought it all back, prepped and ready for the 1 a.m. release. So I'll be giving my thoughts. If you want a play-by-play commentary, that is on the Instagram highlights. Do a little click on that. And then we're going to cut to my 20-minute rant on Harry Potter. We're really just sticking with these two series today. I love Harry Potter. I really do. Say what you will about whatever. I don't care. My earmuffs are on. I'm here for the books. The books? Amazing. They are the only books in history that were on the top of the children's and adult bestsellers at the same time. Do you know how difficult that is? Do you know how impossible that is? The only other book that has sold more copies than Harry Potter is the Bible, the book about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that has been around for thousands of years. That's the only book that has sold more copies than Harry freaking Potter. So yes, we are going to discuss Harry Potter. It's going to be a clip from my last podcast with my friend Nikki because I told her all about the amazing, incredible, I don't know, what's another adjective? Majestic? Ooh, that's a good one because magic. Party that I threw should go down in the record books, and I do need an excuse to post the pictures on Instagram. So we're going to get into that. You're going to hear a little bit more from Nikki. She's amazing. We love her. And that's going to be it. That's the whole episode today. Bridgerton and Harry Potter. Grab your wands and your copy of Whistledown because here we go. So much to say on this series in particular. Let's start off with what I have written on my website of what my general opinion of this franchise is. Warning, it has a lot of steamy sex scenes, but you can watch it through VidAngel if you want to filter those out. Is this the best show ever? No. Did I love it? No. Did I watch it multiple times? Yes, I did. Sometimes I'm just a sucker for romance and I hop on the bandwagon even if the plot is objectively boring and the only thing that the lead has going for him is his looks. Cough, cough, season 1. Sometimes it just feels nice to be in on something that everyone else seems to like and it's easier to just agree. Season 1 was okay. I liked season 2. Queen Charlotte is my favorite and I'm pumped for season 3. That was what I wrote before watching the 4 episodes that were released this morning. But let's rewind slightly. For anyone that has not seen Bridgerton, that's heard of it, that doesn't quite know what it's all about, here's what you need to know. And you know I'm always going to be real with you, alright? I'm going to give it to you straight up and honest. This show is for the girls that like it steamy, that like the smutty books. Yeah, this is that, but in TV form. It's very romantic. It's a Regency era type of show, but they use modern day music in an orchestra form. So you have, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus, but it's being played on the violin. It gives kind of a modern twist, but the dialogue, the writing, the costumes, and the set are all Regency England era. Couldn't tell you exactly the year in which these are supposed to be set, because heaven knows I don't know anything about history, so couldn't tell you there, but they have very weak plots. I'm just giving it to you straight up. I'm about to spoil everything. Daphne is the main character in season 1. She is from a family with the last name of Bridgerton. They have 10 bazillion kids. They're all really pretty. Their dad died. You find out in season 2 that he died from a bee sting. Buzzkill. Man, that's so stupid. But I'm leaving it in because I love a pun. Anyways, the mother has to raise all of these children alone, and Daphne is being presented to society in front of the queen, as they used to do, and nowadays they do the whole debutante thing to honor this horrible tradition, but we watch it, we love it. We focus on the pretty dresses, and the pretty girls, and the hot guys. Daphne is presented to society. She does a great job. The queen loves her. She is unfortunately by her older brother, Anthony. I guess it's not Anthony, it's Antony, because they're English or whatever. No, he's Anthony to me. He's trying to marry her off to this old geezer. Obviously, she doesn't want that. She wants to marry for love. Anthony's best friend, who's this playa boy, who doesn't want to be on the marriage market because, here's the main conflict, he has major daddy issues because his dad was a mean man. He promised his dad on his deathbed that he would never produce him an heir just to get back at his pops. Stupid. So frickin' stupid. He's like, the line ends with me. So he's just hoeing around, sleeping with every girl that walks, refusing to get married. But of course he's this eligible bachelor. So Daphne, who wants to get all these geezers off her back, and wants to be seen as eligible to the younger generation, teams up with our resident hoe, and they fake date to make him seem like he's off the market, get all the mamas off his back, and then she is desirable to all these other men because men love nothing more than competition and jealousy. That's the narrative they're trying to push. There it is. Now, of course, as any fake dating trope goes, she falls for him. He, of course, falls for her, but he can't marry her because he can't produce an heir. He's got that chip on his shoulder that he will not give up. He can't give up on that promise, no matter how stupid it may be. He's a man of his word. So, blah, blah, blah. They get caught kissing, and he tells her, I cannot have children with you. And she's like, I'm fine to be childless with you because I love you and I don't want you to die because you kissed me and got caught. It's such a dumb plot, you guys. But ultimately, Homegirl doesn't know how pregnancy happens, and the rest of the series is her discovering how to get pregnant because she thought that he was just like sterile because she had no sex education, and she finds out from a maid how it all goes down, the how-to guide, if you will, and she realizes that he's been lying to her, that she has just been naive and he has taken advantage of how naive she is. So they argue, blah, blah, blah. They have a lot of sex. It's very hot and steamy. And then in the end, he decides to give up this stupid vendetta that he has, and he impregnates her. Yay, round of applause. So stupid. Also, the Duke, the guy who plays him, terrible actor. Now, there is something that I do need to mention about season 1. I was absolutely feral for the unofficial Bridgerton the musical. Does anybody know about this? If not, ooh, I'm so excited to educate you. There is this girl on TikTok named Abigail Barlow. She's a songwriter, and she had this idea after watching the Bridgerton series, and she posted it on TikTok and said, what if Bridgerton was a musical? She posted a little 30-second clip of a song that she wrote inspired by one of the scenes in the show. This took off. I can't even tell you, if you weren't on this side of TikTok, I feel bad for you. The unofficial Bridgerton the musical was incredible. The collaboration people would start duetting her videos, meaning they would sing harmony with her video on like a split screen. Sometimes they would add lyrics or add parts to it. And then she teamed up with Emily Bear, who, if you ever watched Ellen back in the day, she was a little piano prodigy. She was absolutely adorable. I think she went on Ellen like 3 times. So I knew her from Ellen. She's a composer for film. So she's amazing. And they're really young too. They were like 20 and 21 when this was all coming out. Emily and Abigail teamed up, and Emily wrote the music and composed this symphony for Abigail's songs. And they wrote an entire musical based off of season 1. It is some of the best music. It is phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Not only did they produce this in a very short amount of time, and then they won a freaking Grammy for it. Isn't that insane? But like most good stories, this one had a tragic ending. They won this Grammy. It was amazing. Good job. Hoot hoot. Go you. But Abigail, understandably, wanted it to be more. She wanted to be able to perform this, do all these things with it. But her issue was she took this idea from Netflix. Shonda Rhimes, the producer of Bridgerton, she owns anything Bridgerton, meaning she owns any byproduct that someone could produce that has the Bridgerton name or is inspired by Bridgerton. She has like rights to that. I don't really know the legal situation, but for sure with this unofficial Bridgerton the musical, because it was based off of Bridgerton, Abigail can't just like go and perform concerts willy-nilly with this music. She needs permission from Netflix. So they did a benefit concert at the Kennedy Center. It was a very big deal. They had a ton of celebrities and some Broadway guest stars that came to sing some different parts for the duets with Abigail. So they put on this huge benefit concert, but again, Abigail wanted more. She wanted sole credit. She wanted to do her own thing with it. So against the wishes of Shonda and Netflix, she threw her own concert and she charged for it. Because remember, the other thing, that was a charity event. She didn't make money off of that. She threw her own concert, sold tickets, and made money, and boom! Lawsuit! Shonda came in quick, saying, oh, you flew a little too close to the sun here, honey. Bridgerton's mine. I don't care what you created. I don't care what Grammy award you may have. Bridgerton has my name on it, and I did not give you permission to make money. I'm the only one that gets to make money here. It's not women supporting women, not when it comes to Shonda Rhimes. Unfortunately, Abigail was totally muted and was sued. And the results of this lawsuit were that Abigail and Emily, together, separate, doesn't matter, they cannot sing these songs again. Basically, they've just been shut down. It is still on Spotify, but they can do nothing to make money off of it. Unfortunate, I know. Then Abigail fell off the face of the planet. This was very devastating for her, as I'm sure anybody can imagine. But out of nowhere, about a month and a half ago, Abigail and Emily posted a photo, and they have been working on a project. Turns out they've been the sole writers and producers for the new Moana 2 movie soundtrack. How freaking fun is that? All of the songs in the upcoming Moana movie are written by Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear. Love them, especially Emily. Emily needs way more credit for what she does. She is an actual genius. I love them. And I'm very happy that they got back up on that horse after the devastating blow from Netflix gut punching them. I think it's especially unfortunate because I wish I could have seen what other musicals they could create from the other seasons. I feel like they would have been amazing, but I guess we'll never know. Whew. All right, do you feel like you were educated right then? Because I feel like I just taught a lesson. Next up, we have season 2 of Bridgerton. This one's quick. The storyline is you have Anthony, who he has also been hoeing around. There's a lot of hoes in this show. Never the women. Never the women. It's always these men. Maybe that's offensive, but you know what? He's fictional. I'm going to judge him. He tells us that he is going to marry for practicality and not for love. He's going to get her wed, bed, and bread. His exact words. Hate that. He starts interviewing all these girls. He's being a real jerk about it. And he gets in a little tuffle with this girl named Kate because she sees right through him. She is a 26-year-old old maid that's never going to get married and is basically hopeless, even though she's frickin' gorgeous, and 26 really isn't that old. But, you know, back in that day, and if you live in Utah County today, you are wrinkling as each moment passes by. Your childbearing days are practically over. I mean, I get it. I'm in the same boat as Kate. The difference between the two of us, besides the obvious, is she doesn't have a podcast where she gets to vent about it. I was gonna say something else there, but I think we can obviously see the difference between me and Kate in a lot of different ways. We both have the sass, and that's what I like about her. She really gives it to Anthony. She's like, no, you're being really dumb, and women have more to offer than just their looks, even though she is actually stunning. The most eligible one of that season is Edwina, Kate's sister. Her and Anthony, they start dating, but of course the whole time he's pining for her older sister, who just seems to irk him and bother him and won't let him just be right all the time. She actually has a mind of her own. It's so attractive and annoying. Well, he is gonna get married to Edwina. The wedding's called off because Edwina, she ain't no dummy. She sees that her sister and him are in love, and they finally get together in the end. Now that season was a little bit better. I thought it was far more romantic, and Anthony was way hotter to me than the Duke from the first season. So I was here for their storyline. I thought it was a lot more fun. Now, I will say that I felt like an actual clown when I decided to read this book. In case you didn't know, the Bridgerton series is a book series, and it's being adapted to television. And I like a Regency romance. We all know that I love Ashton Newbold, Juliana Donaldson, Sarah M. Eden. Yeah, I'm a fan. I like a Regency. So I thought, sure, why not? I Googled which of the Bridgerton books, because there's 10 million, which one is the best. All of the Google results seem to yield the same answer, that Anthony and Kate's story was the best book. So I decided I might as well start with the best, because why would I waste my time on anything less? This is the mentality I have, and I think more of us need to implement it. Because in my case, I read the second book and it felt like torture. It was terrible. One of the worst books I've ever read. Also, it didn't follow the storyline of the show pretty much at all. Oh, and the smut scenes in Bridgerton were an absolute no to me. Anthony was so freaking unlikable. I hated the writing. I hated the dialogue. I suffered through that book. So when I completed that book, I was able to look up and say, y'all are crazy. I bet you it's the same people that love Colleen Hoover over here that are feral for Bridgerton, which if that's you, okay, fine. I'm gonna try not to yuck on your yum. But girl, there are better books. Oh my gosh, no, it was a no for me. It made me not like the series as much because I hated Anthony so much in the book. He had zero redeeming qualities. So now I kind of have mixed feelings on the second season because of the sour taste that the book gave me. There you go. There's my review of the second season, I guess. First season, I would give, on my scale, a 4 out of 10. On a public scale for Bridgerton 1. Listen, I know where your guys' standards are, so I'm gonna go solid 7 for all of you. Season 2, without my issues from the book, just from a TV series standpoint, I'm gonna say on my scale, it was a 5 out of 10. On all of yours, we're gonna go higher and do a 7.5, maybe even an 8, just because Anthony is, in my opinion, way more attractive, and Kate is freaking gorgeous. Now on to Queen Charlotte, which is actually the prequel, but came out before season 3. Queen Charlotte, 8. Queen Charlotte was a full meal for me. I really enjoyed it. I loved the plot. Granted, the whole torture element didn't really sit well with me and did disturb me greatly, but I loved it. The dialogue, I was there for it. I found King George to be absolutely my type as far as looks go. He was gorgeous. The plot on that one, you have Queen Charlotte. She has an arranged marriage with King George, but King George has what we would probably call today schizophrenia. I don't know what the exact diagnosis is, but back in old England times, he had some sort of mental illness and he was seen as crazy, called Mad King George. He stays away from Charlotte for most of their marriage because he doesn't want to hurt her, he doesn't want to freak her out because of his mental issues. He seeks out this treatment with this terrible, horrible doctor that does shock treatment and torture as a way to break him down so that he doesn't have this mental illness. It was just so wild back then, and it's so heartbreakingly sad. But, Charlotte comes in, she finally realizes what's going on. She tells him that she loves him and that she's gonna help him out. And it was just very romantic. I really liked them together as a couple. It did make me like the queen a bit more, but what I liked most about it was the subplots in that particular season. Season 1 and season 2 subplots were so dumb to me, so dry. I was like, skip, 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 skip. Don't care. Queen Charlotte, I was here for the subplots. I did like it. My rating on Queen Charlotte would be a 6.5 out of 10. Because of the subject matter being a little bit darker, I'm going to go 7.5 for public. And now we get to season 3. Penelope's story. Lady Whistledown herself. Now, I did read all of the spoilers from the books because I am that girl. I don't like a mystery. I don't like an intrigue. I want to know what's going to happen. I do. Don't surprise me. Don't tease me. Give it to me straight. Give it to me all at once. And give it to me right, which no one can seem to do correctly. Especially not Shonda Rhimes, who's over here giving me a month gap in between my episodes. Ugh, don't even get me started on how stupid of a strategy I think that is, especially when your 4 episodes that you did drop last night were not that good. Didn't like them. I was very bored, to be honest, and the chemistry was not really cooking anything up. I was not bubbling. It felt so weird. It was just constant staring at Penelope from across the room. When they finally did kiss, I don't know, maybe it was the camera angle, maybe it was just the fact that he's a bad kisser, but it was not the same as Queen Charlotte season 1 or season 2. It just didn't do anything for me. I don't know, which is so sad because I was looking forward to this season the most because I love Penelope, I love Colin, I love the best friends to lovers trope. I also love the actress that plays Penelope. She's in Dairy Girls, one of my favorite shows. I also just watched another show with her this week in preparation for Bridgerton called Big Mood on Tubi. She was phenomenal in that. She's such a great actress. I really, really like her. I love her look. She's absolutely stunning. I feel like she is really setting a new standard for beauty. I love it. So I'm so sad that I did not enjoy these first 4 episodes. What was happening? Again, go watch my highlight reel on Instagram to get my exact thoughts and play-by-plays. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody here in case you haven't watched it yet, but ultimately, I was bored. I was annoyed, and I was definitely preferring Francesca's relationship and romance to the actual main characters, Penelope and Colin. My rating on just those 4 episodes, 2 out of 10. And compared to the other seasons, I'm going to go 4 out of 10 for public. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. I really need to know what you guys thought of season 3. In my opinion, not worth your time. And especially not worth your time to then wait a month. I'll get back to you on the full rating once we have those final 4 episodes next month. But for right now, skip it, girl. Skip it. Unless you are a diehard Bridgerton fan and you disagreed with everything that I previously said in the last 20 minutes, then yeah, you press play. You eat that up. You have fun. But if you're not, and you're like, oh, she had some points, you somewhat agreed with me, or you've never seen it, don't put it on the list. It's just not worth it. Queen Charlotte was good. I think Queen Charlotte on its own is worth a watch, but Bridgerton in general, pass. As someone who's seen it so many times, I think I've seen season 1 3 times, season 2 at least twice, Queen Charlotte twice. I feel like I can reasonably say you don't need to waste the time that I've wasted.
Do you mind if I talk about an event that I threw?
Yes.
Once upon a time,
I threw a Harry Potter party, but it wasn't just a party. It was actually a 2.5-day event. It started because I have a friend named Taylor, and she has never read the Harry Potter series before. Now, I had not read them until my senior year of high school. I avoided them because I, wanted to be a cool pick-me girl and was like, I'm not like other girls. I'm not like the rest of you weirdos out here liking a wizard. And my family loved them, so obviously I had to rebel. But I swallowed my pride. When I turned 18, I was in high school and I was like, maybe this thing that everyone loves might be all right. And obviously became completely obsessed. I read all 7 books in a very short amount of time. We're talking like 2 weeks or something. Just absurd. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
I was getting no sleep. This was happening near graduation. I think I read them twice, actually, because I finished and then I just needed them again. I looked up all the fan art. I got super into the, Wattpad.
A Hogwarts shirt right now.
I forgot! I'm literally wearing Hogwarts. And then I went on my very first quote-unquote solo vacation. Basically not with my family. It was just me and my friend Jatiel, and I asked if she wanted to go to Harry Potter World because I needed to be a wizard in real life, obviously. I needed to drink butterbeer. I am just so obsessive that way. Well, anyways, Taylor, my friend, she had never read them, and she had just gotten into reading. I was feeding her books. She was reading them and really enjoying them, and I loved it so much because everyone is a reader. You just have to find the books that speak to you. If you are not into reading, if that is not your thing, trust me, it can be. So I knew it was time for her to read the Harry Potter series. And I thought, I'll read them with you because at this time, I was really grieving my friends because this was January of 2021 and they had died a week before Christmas. So this is just a few weeks after my friends passed away. I'm obviously going through a tough time. I needed something to just think about that wasn't grief related. Mm-hmm. And I really felt like truly Heavenly Father kind of gave me this idea where he was like, hey, Taylor really wants to read this series. Why don't you do it with her? Why don't you make it this group activity? So we started off by reading these books, and she had never seen the movies. So I decided, what if we just got together for 2 days and binged every single Harry Potter movie in a row once we finished the series? Mm-hmm. But she has a cat, and my apartment isn't super mega comfortable, I was like, how are we gonna do this? And at this time, we started talking to a few other friends, and slowly but surely, kind of like your thing, you think you're jumping off a curb, and then, oh, nope, turns out 23 people are wanting in on this.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. Out of our group, 7 people had never seen the movies. Ever.
Wow.
Crazy, right? I couldn't believe it. I went into it so excited because not only was I going to get to experience this movie marathon, which I love, but I was going to experience it with so many people who had never experienced it before. So we got a few more people to start reading the books with us. It was 3 months that we planned this party. And every single week, I went over to my friend Jatiel's house and we made decorations. It really turned out to be this great way for me to process my grief. I was having a really difficult time hanging out with people because I was just really overwhelmed and so sad that I felt like I was on a different energy level than everyone else around me. And it was hard to last more than like an hour being out with people in their space and in their light and all this stuff. I kind of felt like I needed to go back in my corner and cry a bit. Mm-hmm. I went over to Jatiel's and we started making decorations. And we made every single Horcrux. We made decorations for every single movie, and then of course it kept evolving, and we rented this Airbnb, an entire house. We had cots, and to set expectations, I sent everyone a Hogwarts letter. Guys, I'm so proud of this. It was such an experience. I got the letterhead and stuff off Etsy, so I bought that. Personally addressed it to each person. So every single letter was different. It had their name and a letter from Professor McGonagall inviting them to Hogwarts, and then on the back it had their class schedule, which had the schedule of all the times that we were going to watch each movie, and then it had their packing list. One of the cute minor details that I was obsessed with. So this is the
It's like on the fancy paper.
Oh, I printed it on paper. Oh, I also I printed tickets for platform 9 3/4 on this like silver sparkly paper. So they had their train tickets, and I had the time that they needed to be at the station. And then when they showed up, the first thing that they walk through is the platform 9 3/4 poster.
Brick wall.
Yeah, brick wall. So that way you're like arriving to Hogwarts. They all came in glittered gold envelopes with wax seals.
Can you send those in the mail?
Well, those ones I dropped off. For like half of them, they were close enough to me that I just dropped them off in person. But the ones that I did mail, those ones I printed out the seal on sticker paper and then put it on like a sticker. For their packing list of what to bring, I had required equipment. And then at the bottom of the letter, I came up with this, and I thought it was so cute. I said, parents are reminded that first-year students are not allowed their own broomsticks. Students may also bring an owl or cat or toad as long as they are of the stuffed variety.
I love it.
I really did get excited because I was setting this expectation. You're going to watch every single Harry Potter movie for 2 days straight. That's what we're doing. It was amazing. We built a 6-foot-tall Whomping Willow.
Oh my gosh.
I will post all of this stuff to the Instagram, you guys. I love that you like this because I'm amazed at everything that you've created. So this is my one thing that I'm like, Nikki, look.
I'm like, do we need a Whomping Willow for the Valentine's Museum next year?
We made it out of cardboard boxes that Jatil's mom had because she works at a retail store.
Resourceful.
I was hitting up the dollar store like every day. So we got butcher paper and then put it on the tree and then rolled it up and hot glued it on. And the minor detail, because in the second book, you know how at the Whomping Willow, they slide down and there's actually the whole underground thing. We had a hole in the side for pictures, and then we created a Hogwarts car. This car in total probably costs like $5 because we took 4 poster boards from the Dollar Tree, which were like 75 cents each, put them together, and then just painted all of that on.
$5 and 55 hours.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But it's like a fulfilling thing for you to be creating, so it's not wasted time. If you didn't want to do this, you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it, yeah. And at this time, it was just so nice to focus on something else.
Yeah.
Something other than my debilitating grief, you know? To look forward to something that I could do for other people as well. An experience that I could create. We made these Quidditch pitches out of cardboard paper, and then I stole every single paint sample from Walmart. Because you know how they just have them sitting there, the free ones? So I took all of those to be the squares.
Brilliant.
And then we put pictures of the crowds. Oh, I made the Harry and Ron sweatshirts.
For you and Jatil?
For me and Jatil, we made prefect badges, Dementors. We did the Patronus, and we covered it in lights as well.
So fun.
Isn't that crazy? Jatil hand painted these, like hand drew and hand painted the stuff on our hats. So in the house itself, when everybody showed up, every single room of the house was themed to the movies. Coming out of the fireplace was all of these letters that I had handwritten, 45 letters with Harry Potter's address on it that was attached to fishing line, so it looked like it was flying out of the chimney. We had potion bottles, we had hanging candles with wax and clouds in the kitchen, and then I had bought a light projector so it looked like the night sky like it does in the Great Dining Hall. We had themed food for every single movie.
Oh gosh.
We had
so fun.
We had one of the bedrooms was set up as the Yule Ballroom.
You could make an Airbnb that is
like themed.
Just all of this that you just
We definitely thought about that. It was so fun.
Whoa.
Isn't that like sweet?
It's
and
so
we took paper bowls and then we hot glued
that looks literally like a sky.
Yeah.
Did you project the clouds or did you make the clouds?
No, the clouds were made.
I think that there's gonna be people that are like, this is overboard, you know?
Sure.
Like just in general, like they would never do that. But I think it's worth it, one, because it's for yourself. This is an art project that is for you.
Oh, it was.
But
definitely.
It's for you. And also, there's something about when you go to a party that is so intentionally created like that, you feel so honored to be there because somebody spent so much time creating this beautiful thing for you to experience.
That's exactly how I felt when every single person walked in and every room was filled with Harry Potter paraphernalia that we had handmade. I mean, it was just so satisfying to see the joy and wonder on everyone's face. Mm-hmm. You know, this could have just been everyone just crams into my small apartment and we just watch every Harry Potter movie. But no, I wanted it to be this 2-day experience that everyone had a fun time. When even though the activity was just watching movies, that's all we did. Everyone was so respectful of what we were there to do. I really thought, because it was such a long period of time, that, you know, maybe some people would be in and out and whatever. No. I think it was because the expectation was set that if you're coming here to experience this. And don't ruin it for the people who have never seen them before either. So it was fun for everybody because you have these newbies who have never experienced it. You have all of us that are living vicariously and keep looking at them being like, oh my gosh, how are they reacting? And then just to have the themed surroundings, it made it an unforgettable experience. I think that this is important to mention just from where I was at emotionally, because it really was this productive thing that I was doing. It was something that was bringing me a lot of happiness and joy, some feelings that I felt like weren't in grand supply at that time. I felt like I was able to just breathe for a second and do this thing. And when I was at the party, day 1 was so much fun, but I did wake up on day 2 and I had a moment where I was just sobbing because I missed my friends and I knew they would have come to this. I knew they would have loved it. It was just so comforting to know that I could be sad, but at the same time I could also have this really fun thing. I don't know if this is making any sense, but I think you can be going through some really hard things in life and still have beautiful experiences. You can cry for as long as you need to cry and feel it in that moment. And I had friends there that were friends with them, you know? And so they came in and they comforted me, and then I was able to breathe again and we were able to go on. And I knew that this whole thing was a product of my grief, that I wouldn't have had all that time to just devote to making all these decorations and making it. It wouldn't have mattered as much to me had I not been going through what I was. So I think any experience in our life can be turned into something creative, something that can benefit not only yourself, but those around you. That whole concept that you said about life being an experience and design it to be something that brings you happiness and joy. That's what this Harry Potter party was for me. It will always have such a special place in my heart. It was what I felt like at that moment, final project of my first 3 months, dealing with what I was going through, and I created something that other people could enjoy, and I had such a delightful time. To anybody out there that's like struggling, that thinks, oh, all these ideas of going after your dreams and doing all this stuff, that's for people who are in like a very healthy mental state. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be in a certain mental state to create something beautiful and design something for your life.
I love it.
I'm telling you guys right now, this is going to be a double post on Instagram, maybe a triple post. So get ready for a lot of pictures.
And also some advertisements for your cult.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Delulus.
The Delulus sounds like a band name.
Which I kind of like. You know, we don't want to come across as a cult. We're just going to sneak under the radar.
Create it like an album cover.
We'll eventually have t-shirts like I'm a part of the Delulus.
That's fun.
That would be so awesome. Live in delusion, guys. It works. It's so great. It's so fun. And you accomplish so much more than you ever thought possible. And you meet the most amazing people along the way. People who are so willing to make your delusion a reality.
Yeah, I will say, I think that you have to be a little bit delusional to go for big things like that, but it doesn't feel delusional because you have the vision. I have never felt so in flow than when I was doing the Valentine's Museum, and I just had this inherent confidence that it was gonna come together. And which is why I wasn't panicking. I was like, we're fine. This is fun, and I just knew, I don't know, I had the vision and I felt so strongly about it and I felt so drawn to do it because it had been on my mind for like 2 years. It wasn't like I just instantly came up with the idea, but it had been stewing, and I finally was just like, this is something I feel so drawn to do, and I have this idea of what it can be, and I just never really had a doubt that it would at least come together. I didn't know how it would be received, but I feel like things generally are well received when you're coming from that place. When you're not doing it for making money or for impressing people, you just are doing something because you just feel really drawn to create it, then usually it's coming from the right place. And I feel like you are delusional, but somehow you're not.
Yeah, you're actually perfectly aligned with, to me, the plans of God.
Yeah, it's like delusion is actually just alignment on your own plane.
Yes!
Other people don't see it because that's not the plane that they're on, or like the track that they're on, so it looks delusional because they're like, why are you over there? What are you doing?
But you're like, no, this is my path.
Yeah.
I was led here. It's awesome. And I have no idea where it's going to lead. But it feels so undeniably right that I have to do it. I have to. Again, being a Christian woman, I definitely believe that the things that we feel so passionate about, those things that you really can't explain to somebody else, that they will not understand, that will seem delusional to them, they are given by God. Why would I come up with this? Like, why would I put myself in this position of not being able to answer any of your questions about what's next, and putting myself in this very vulnerable spot of not knowing how to do something or why or whatever? I have to believe that that's coming from somewhere bigger than me. With all of these questions around it, I still feel so good about it, to the point that I'm not even really doubting that it's gonna work out. Personally, I believe that I am following the call to what I'm supposed to do. When I watched Frozen 2 for the first time, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I cried. Literally, I heard that song in the theater. I had a very spiritual experience. I was like, I am Elsa. I felt it on such a deep, profound level. And then I walk out and my friends are like, that was stupid. I was like, well, I was crying because I thought the song Into the Unknown, with the lyrics of I can hear you, but I won't. I had my adventure. I don't need something new. I am afraid of what I risk if I follow you into the unknown. For the first time, I felt like I can describe this feeling to someone else. It feels like Elsa when she is hearing this call, hearing this voice, has no idea where it's going to lead, no idea where it's coming from, but she feels it so deeply inside her that she has to. There is no other option. She won't be who she needs to be without it. That's how I feel when I follow the voice that I hear to tell me to go live in China or live in the Virgin Islands or live in Switzerland or do these things. When I hear that call, it may seem crazy to somebody else because they don't hear it, but listen, in the end, the Show Yourself song, it reveals itself, and it's so beautiful. And anyways, I thought Frozen 2 was very profound. I'm a big fan of Frozen 2. And Moana, the ocean calling her. I think we all have things that call to us, experiences that we need. You do have the choice whether or not you're going to follow those things, but you just gotta trust your gut. You gotta trust that the voice that's calling you, if it's bringing you peace and excitement, that is worth pursuing.
Hallelujah.
Well, everybody, that is the episode today. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts on Bridgerton, Harry Potter, and of course, life in general, because this has been Life According to Nikki.